Hey you guys, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I'm ready to do one of the last page kits that I had put together for my retreat that I didn't quite get to since I had a pretty relaxing time at my retreat. This is based from a Mercy Tiara kit from August. It had Roll With It from Carta Bella and a sunflower kit from Carta Bella. I don't end up using the sunflower paper. So I have the sequin mix, the alphas, and some ephemera, including some swap ephemera from Ginger's Corner. So these are the papers, just teals and reds and some sort of worn yellow, really pretty. I had intended, just a heads up, I had intended to fussy cut these florals out and use them on the page, and I forgot to. Which I didn't realize until after the page was complete. And then I looked at it and I thought, well, I don't need the florals. I'll save them for another page. So I have a bunch of photos here from a work picnic that we used to have. Well, they still have it. I'm not there anymore. But every springtime we had a crawfish boil, or at one point it turned into a shrimp boil, but in this time frame it was still a crawfish boil. Every springtime, and probably 200 to 300 people, 700 pounds of crawfish, 2 kegs of beer, maybe 3 kegs of beer. Just a really great time. A jump house for the kids. It's at our rec center, which has a playground. So it was amazing fun. And since I was on management staff, I got to spend the afternoon getting ready and helping serve and all sorts of stuff. So I love this stripe paper. I want to include it. I've been doing on several 2-page layouts where I sort of do vertical segments. So this one I wanted to do horizontal, so I'm going to cut 2, and I'm making sure I get the same sections from the paper, and then I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to cut it in half, 6 by 6, and then this grid paper, which I liked a lot as well. There were a couple of different grid papers. I could have used the lighter blue color, but I liked this tan quite a bit. So I'm just looking at it to see about how much do I want. I'm trying to conserve paper. I'm not going to use up all the sheets. That's just my built-in compulsion, I guess. Trying to optimize my papers, especially when they're as beautiful as these Carta Bella papers. So I lay out the first sheet. I do a bunch of fussing, and I've cut that out. This was a pretty long process. I got interrupted a couple times, so I've tried to cut portions out of the video in order to save you time. So I got the video was about 20 minutes. It actually took me probably an hour and a half or more to finish this page. So I am inking, and I'm using the walnut stain for the ink. Now I'm wanting this to not look like exactly like a third, a third, a third. So I'm playing around with the dimensions a little bit. I wanted trying to make it not random, but balanced without being too symmetrical top to bottom. Not sure I achieved that. It's harder to tell with the stripes, but the top is a little deeper than the stripes at the bottom. I am going to trim the photos. Most of them I get to 4x4, and then I go back in and trim a couple of others to 3.5x4, just so I can fit them, give a little breathing space on the page. So it's just pictures of a lot of coworkers and friends at the time. And since this was 2010, so 13 years ago, a lot of things have changed since then. So it's kind of fun to go back and look at some of these photos. So I do quite a bit of playing around. I'm not loving that as a layout. I didn't like that the 4x6 photo wasn't aligned with the other ones in the middle. I thought about using that wood grain and I just didn't love it on there. It sort of brought the page down instead of bringing it up. But I do have these Creative Memories mats, and I will use some of those on there. I actually end up flipping it over and using the slightly lighter and decorative side instead of the solid side. And then I couldn't really make that striped paper work, though. I liked it. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm going to journal straight onto that grid paper, and I end up not. I end up putting embellishments on it, and so I do end up adding a journal box. So I see, here's where I think, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the tones of it. So just going through some struggles here and decide to just go ahead and matte some of the photos. This is a textured old Creative Memories cream paper. It's actually teal on one side and this cream on the other side. And I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think I make you watch me do all the rest of the matting. Again, just to save you time, you all know how to mat a photo. So I trim this, and then I'm going to flip it in a little while. And it's just got a sort of distressed polka dot on the back of it. So still not feeling the layout perfectly. So just keep trying to move forward while I think about it. And for some reason it didn't look lined up. And so I double check that I'm square. And then, oh, look at that polka dot. I like that polka dot better. And here's where I thank goodness for repositionable adhesive. That's all I can say. So ink everything. I think I did actually finally remember to ink everything. I usually end up sticking stuff down and then realizing that I hadn't inked. So I like this better. I do shift the bottom photos on the right down a little bit. Here I'm just writing out what I think might be a good title, just to think about it. So those are definitely going to go there, and then here you can see I shift down a bit. And that's just to create a little better balance. But I wanted an embellishment cluster at the bottom left. I don't think I end up doing bottom right. I don't think I end up there. I think I end up a little bit higher, but that's okay. So these are the foam stickers that came with the Mercy Tiara Kit. I love the color with this. I do some fussing with this to fit everything. And that's where I got a little, I had to go take care of something downstairs. So I come back, line these letters up. And I think I do one more little adjustment. I probably don't necessarily take you through that whole thing. All right, so there it is, final DX. That was the mail code for our organization, DX Spring Fling. And now let's look at ephemera. So I have these daisy flowers that I got in a swap, a daisy swap on Ginger's Corner. If you aren't familiar with those, go check it out. There's a new mini swap every Sunday, and then there's a big monthly swap, which is 10 items. So I have some tickets here since it was kind of a carnival festival thing, so I did add a couple tickets. And then I had pulled out some of this yellow, which is a little bit brighter than the yellow in the thing, but I'm okay with, since it's a springtime, just elevating that look a little. I do zoom out here in a second because I got disrupted again and went to go. And then this little camera embellishment was from a swap as well. So here you get a better view of the whole page. So you can see I have that journal box that I decided would fit there on the far left. And then I'm just going to try and put the flowers, the daisies, on either side. I have this was from the embellishment kit, and I'm going to try and spread it across the page as well. So I cut it where I can use it in two places as sort of a corner focus. And I just fuss around with these a little bit. So this embellishment cluster is really just going to encase that corner. And I had originally intended that my embellishment cluster would go down in the bottom right corner, but I changed it up, and that's okay. So this will figure itself out eventually as I add other things. So and there's a little end sticking out, so I'm just going to cover that end with a star. And these star and circle buttons are old, super old Creative Memories, but the colors, the tones are pretty close, so I'm trying really hard to use those up since they're not really necessarily the fashion anymore. But this is 2010, so they were totally the fashion in 2010. And here I'm remembering which things I didn't quite remember to ink. So we're doing some of the final touches, getting everything stuck down. I am going to pop up the heads of the flowers, but not the stems. And that makes it look like they're kind of popping out of the page. I kind of like that look. And this Carta Bella paper is a little bit textured, so sometimes my repositionable adhesive is not quite strong enough on it. It doesn't catch, so I use some of that more permanent adhesive glue, also from scrapbook.com. So here again, I stick it down and I've forgotten to ink it, so I have to go back later and try and fix the inking on it. So just a last couple of things, and then I have a sequin mix from Mercy Tiara Kit, and I'm going to add that. Oh, wordy bits. I forgot I decided I wanted a little more on this, so I have this Tim Holtz little phrases, and so I find a few appropriate wordy bits. One says friends. Just a couple of different wordy bits that I put around. There's lots of good different phrases in different tones of beige in here. Oh, that says a interesting cast of characters or something like that, which is very true about my old division. All right, I think it's time for sequin mix. And I do not make you watch me glue all the sequins down. So I just reach into the little baggie, sprinkle some around, make some adjustments to make sure I have all the colors in all the places. So sort of random, not quite random, because I do make adjustments. Add a few more there and glue it down, and then we'll come back for some close-ups. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps other people find my videos. I have some more pages planned for this week. I won't post anything on Thanksgiving Day because we'll all be watching parades and football, but I will be back on Saturday and then again Monday. I try not to post on Sundays, just to say I post 6 days a week. All right, so here we go with some close-ups. Few little escapees. I think some of the sequins were doubled up. So just put those away. All right, these are the final adjustments I always end up making right at the end. So here we go. I love the look of those sequins and how coordinated these embellishments from Ginger's Corner swaps are working with this. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Come back again.